DC's in a crisis. There's a man from Wales. Some people call him the Welsh in America. Did you know that he also plays rugby? He has video evidence of fences in the capital, and even worse, he moved here for love. Welcome to the show. The best idea. Mr.
That was
Ryan
very good.
from
Thank you
Wales.
very much. Absolutely.
Awesome, man. I really do appreciate you coming on the podcast. And,
No, I appreciate you having me on.
the past
It
15,
was what was it, a couple of weeks in the making, I think.
yeah. It's one of those things I think with the schedules of how people are, working from home, not knowing what's going to happen
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow. Rescheduling is a real thing in today's, age. So I do appreciate you
Absolutely.
taking the time, especially after your rugby game. I'm hoping you won.
Yes, sir. It was a very weird setup. It was, the first game we played in a year due to COVID.
All right.
So we played 4 lots of 20 minutes, which isn't common. Usually it's 2 lots of 40 minutes. But I think due to fitness levels and just getting back into it, the referee decided to break it up a little bit.
Okay.
But it was actually a draw, which I was very annoyed by.
I'm not sure if that's worse than losing or not.
Well, I mean, it was technically a friendly, so it wasn't like a league game or a competitive
Okay.
game, even though it was physical. Yeah, I think I'd definitely prefer to be on the winning side. Who doesn't?
I agree. And that's why you moved to America, right? Boom.
Oh, there we go. The drop right there.
So you moved here.
So they say, so they say.
So yeah, I guess the war may not be over. I don't know. You guys are coming here in droves. Um,
Yeah, we are.
what's the story behind why you came to America? And I definitely want to give you this opportunity to give your girlfriend a shout out. And I'm glad that she influenced you to come here.
Yeah, so basically, actually, it's funny that you mentioned that that you were in the military, right? So at the age of 19, I just didn't see myself being in the UK for the rest of my life. And my dad was a traveler. He liked to travel the world and do things like that. And I was looking basically for a way to travel and get paid to do so, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
that sounds great.
who wouldn't want to do that? Yeah, who wouldn't want to do that? So basically, in 20, I'm just trying to think here, 2010, maybe 2009, I actually went through like a weight loss transformation and got really fit, got really lean, and I really wanted to travel the world, get paid. So my first instinct was maybe the military.
Okay.
So I actually went to like Royal Marines sign up day, just get some like information and stuff. And it was kind of funny because I knew that if I was to sign up to the Marines, I would have gone to Afghanistan straight away, most likely due to the nature of what was happening. And my dad kind of talked me out of it. And then, so I guess what happened then is I became a personal trainer. I was training to be a personal trainer, and on the course, there was a gentleman who was telling me all about like summer camps in America. And I thought, oh, America, I've always wanted to go, and I could get paid to do it. And basically, long story short, I ended up going to a summer camp here, not that far away, like maybe an hour, 2 hours drive from here. And my first summer, didn't meet my wife or anything like that, just came for the experience. And then I decided to go back. And that year, she was working there. And so, to be fair, she was the most attractive, to put it politely.
Well played. Well played.
And I was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And it took. There was a couple who I had my eye on prior, but she was the main goal, I guess you could say. And basically, we hit it off. And when you're in that sort of scenario, you spend so much time with someone that you get to know them really, really well in such a short space of time.
Right.
And basically, it was coming to the end of my stint in America that summer. And she was like, okay, what are we doing? And
Where's
I'd
this
never done
relationship
long.
going? Right. that
Yeah, right.
question?
I had never done long distance before. And I was kind of in like I wouldn't say a serious relationship beforehand before coming to America. Um, but I think I was in a position to be more settled, I guess.
Okay.
I was like, all
Yeah.
right, okay, let's give it a go, see what happens. And then we did a long distance thing for 6 years. And
That's so
throughout that
crazy.
time, yeah, no, to be fair, it is. And I kept going back to America every summer. So we would have like 4 months of the summer together, and then maybe one or two trips either side,
Okay.
which was fun. And basically, after about 5 years, we kind of had that talk. Like
Yeah, this is a
where's
lot of
this going?
time. Yeah, like really,
Yeah,
for real, where is this going?
yeah. And so I was like, all right, do you want to move to the UK? She's like, no. And I was like, all right, all right.
Well, at least one option.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you to an extent. Like, she's a home bird. All her family are literally within like a 30-minute drive of each other, I
That's
would say.
awesome. That's
Most of
cool.
them.
Right.
Yeah. So that basically made my life or the decision easier, although harder for like people back home, like my parents and whatnot.
Well, has technology helped keep those connections? I feel like that may have helped or
Absolutely.
no.
Yeah, no, it definitely has. It definitely has. So since COVID, it's definitely been a godsend because I haven't been able to go home
Oh
like
man,
at all due
at
to
all,
the
right?
whole the whole quarantine situation that I would have to go through, and there's no way I can get more than like 2 weeks off work to whatever.
Right.
But yeah, it's definitely helped. Like it's technically Mother's Day back home in the UK. So prior to this call, I was on FaceTime with my mum, and then I called my dad, and then I frequently text or like call my brother. Not so much my sister. I don't get me wrong. I love my sister, but I'm just not as close to her as I am to like my brother or anything. So
Well, I have the same feeling towards one of my brothers, but I'll let them figure out which one it is. I'm kidding. I got three older brothers who are all awesome and
oh wow,
not as smart as me, but not as good looking. But they're
there you
cool.
go.
So
Nice.
we I guess kind of connected. I see, kind of connected. I was watching your live stream, and my mind
That's it.
almost melted because you were at the Capitol
Mm-hmm.
live streaming, from your phone.
Yep.
Probably, I think 50 or 60 people were in the live stream, and you were just walking
Mm-hmm.
along the fences with
Yep.
barbed wire. And
Yes, sir.
this is
Although I
a
technically
month ago.
razor wire is what I
Oh,
was
oh,
I've been told
razor
it is.
wire. Okay.
Yeah. The amount of
Yeah.
people who like are like shitting on me because I'm saying barbed wire all the time, but it's actually razor wire. I do apologize.
Well, I have an apology right there. That's what I would say. Here you go. It's for free.
Yeah,
You can get
yeah,
it at
there you go.
Costco in bulk.
Yeah, it's all the
Next
same
time,
to me.
yeah. You say that to the next time. Like, oh, I got something for you. I got it all the way from
Yeah,
England. There you go. There's barbed
yeah,
wire. Um, Barbed wire, razor wire. Don't let the semantics get hung up on you there.
no,
Americans don't
exactly.
even know what barbed wire is, probably. Um, so it was frightening to me that that was the first time I've seen anything more than a 2 second clip, on Facebook or on,
Hmm.
if I stumble upon the news for whatever reason, of how crazy shut down the Capitol is and how access is
Right,
basically non existent.
correct.
So, what do you feel is the craziest thing that could possibly be happening? And what is the most probable thing?
Mm.
And what is the best case scenario? So, three
Oof.
answers there.
Okay, so I think the craziest thing that could this is not necessarily my opinion.
Right,
This is
right, right.
from what
It's
people yeah. This
crazy.
is this is hypothetical. This is what people have been saying. If you look at my TikTok, right, and you look at
Oh,
some of those
it's
videos,
nuts.
some of those videos have like thousands of comments. Like thousands. I'm like, how the heck am I supposed to get around to replying to all these people, right?
Right.
And usually it's just back and forth between like a couple of people. So to be fair, I think the craziest thing that could be happening that people have said is something to do with the tunnels.
Oh,
But
gosh.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
This
so
is just for
a
people
little
watching this. The tunnels are in reference to child pedophilia, sex trafficking.
correct. Yeah, correct. So, but luckily in 2000 and prior to when was Trump's inauguration? Was it 2017?
Yes.
Right. So in December of 2016, I had the privilege of actually getting a private tour of the Capitol building.
Oh wow.
Yeah. The wife's uncle, I believe, is in the Coast Guard.
So you're part of the system, I see, is what you're saying here. All right, we've got that down right here. Part of the system. I'm kidding.
Yeah. So basically, I had a private tour of the Capitol building. I wouldn't say private tour, but it's actually
more
on my
exclusive.
YouTube, I believe. Yeah. So it was definitely. Although to be fair, the only thing that was off limits from what I remember is the balcony because the Secret Service were prepping it for Trump's inauguration, I guess, where they
Right.
usually do the inauguration. So like I obviously went through because you can go from I can't remember the exact building that I came into, but it was like maybe the Library of Congress or something. But I know in Capitol Hill, all the buildings are interconnected by tunnels to get to the Capitol building.
I did not know that.
To me, oh yeah, okay. So to me, that's the most far-fetched thing that I've heard. The most probable explanation is that obviously they're worried about something, God knows what, to be honest. And then my personal opinion of what's going on is that it's just a waste of money.
I'll agree with that. That's definitely a waste of money and resources, and
like,
having families away from their loved ones. You know, the National Guard.
Exactly. Like
they don't need to be there.
Right. Yeah. So like the thing was that I went into DC. I think I was there last weekend or the weekend before because on the news I saw that they were going from the 12-foot fence with razor wire down to an 8-foot fence with razor wire.
And oh my gosh, that's so stupid.
No, exactly. And then they pushed it back over a road. So like they moved it closer towards the Capitol building. And I was like, all right, I need to go check this out because this doesn't make any sense. Like I can only imagine how much it costs to go from a 12-foot fence to an 8-foot fence.
And the logistics.
It's so
and
stupid,
imagine the person putting that stuff up. Like, if I put up a 12-foot fence, in the military, they're like, awesome, we did a great job. It looks fantastic. Yep. We're definitely going to keep people and protesters and any insurrectionists out. But we're going to need you to go ahead and cut that down to 8 feet. That's a little too tall.
Well, the funny thing is they didn't cut it down,
motherfuckers.
Yeah, they didn't cut it down. They put up a new fence.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was new. So we got the 12-foot and the 8-foot.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, my mind just exploded.
Yes. I couldn't quite believe it. And damn well whoever's in charge of that fence company put an exceptional markup on that.
Man, you don't know how expensive razor wire is in DC.
Yeah.
Because there ain't none there until 3 months ago.
Right.
That would be interesting. Hey, whoever's watching this that loves conspiracy theories and loves the rabbit holes, Bugs Bunny this one, and figure out who the company is that has the razor wire. That'd be interesting to see.
Oh, I'm sure there's some tie somewhere.
I mean, if you're building a 12-foot fence and they're like, you know what, we got all this extra money, let's build another 8-foot wall, huh? I mean, there was a lot of people coming trying to, break over this fence, and that was the weird thing in your video was hardly anybody there.
Right? No, it's
at
not.
All.
There's no one there.
Here's how I see it. As a patriot, blood, give my blood for this country, Bible thumping, conservative, super straight guy. I'm super straight too, by the way. I have the orange and black flag.
The grinder.
Oh
thing.
My gosh, that's so funny. Okay. It
I just
boggles my mind that I'm on there. Don't worry about it. It boggles my mind that they're worried that if 1 million Trump supporters showed up on January 6th, and to my account, 0 guns were there, but they're all gun-toting Americans. Okay, well, let's say that a handful of them had guns. I mean, I haven't seen any police reports saying that there were guns. But if anything was to go down, 1 million people with guns would have happened January 6th.
Right.
And if these insurrectionists are so dangerous. And don't get me wrong, people that walked into the Capitol building, went through police and stuff. You commit the crime, you do the time. Play stupid games, you
Yeah,
win stupid
absolutely.
prizes.
Exactly.
But at the same time, all these people are Second Amendment, not even advocates. I mean, they're evangelists.
Mhm.
And if they
Yeah.
didn't bring if they didn't bring the guns then to take over Congress, and there's a
Right.
million people there, I can't imagine them not having the resources to, sniff that out. Now that it's kind of on the radar that there were a lot of, about 72 million people in America pissed off about the elections. If there was
Mhm.
going to be some kind of migration of a million people back to DC, how long would it take them to build up a wall?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, 12 hours, 18 hours,
If that.
if that. So that's what is really feeding into what I see. The other weird part about all this is a QAnon.
Yes.
That is. What's your opinion on QAnon? Before I say my bit, I got to hear this from an outsider.
Do you know, like, so it's funny. A long time ago, I got deep into, like, conspiracy theories and stuff like that. Just out of curiosity more than anything, because it does make you think. It makes you potentially think.
It's a story.
What if is going on? Right.
Yeah.
My opinion on it is that they're definitely out there in terms of, like, what they're thinking. I don't think we're on the same wavelength personally. But again, it's just one of those things that, the stories can be manifested to seem very real. You can definitely find sources of evidence potentially that can help bolster an opinion.
Well, everyone that I've seen, that I've had, brother, I've had hundreds of people in my life send me videos from what I've realized is a network of QAnon insiders. All these people just so happen to have insider information. And if you're watching now, they're going to come for your guns, and they're going to come for your families, and buy this gold. This gold is awesome gold, and you can get a free discount on this gold, blah, blah, blah. But back to your life is going to be terrible. QAnon's warning us. Did I mention silver? We have silver also. You should definitely buy silver because the dollar's going to fall apart. So buy my stuff, and I'm going to scare the shit out of you. And I'm looking at who I thought was level-headed people. First off, buying a shit ton of gold and silver, which is stupid. If the end of the world comes,
it's worth
go out in the street and say, "Hey, I have a thing of gold. Who wants to trade me food? Let me know how that works out for you."
Yeah.
So then we have QAnon. I believe is a misinformation campaign built by some person who's a genius, evil genius, Dr. Evil style, to get all these people worked up. And then what scares me is that these congressmen don't realize how much their fencing off the DC area is fueling this flame of freaking crazy conspiracy theories.
Oh,
maybe they do
some
know.
of them. Some of them on my that could, potentially that's another rabbit hole, is that they know what they're doing, and they're trying to feed the fuel in the fire so that it actually happens.
I didn't actually even think about that until now. We should never have talked.
Nope. I mean, it's because then, like, I think one of my things is that, from what I've realized in terms of the videos that I've been posting and the comments that I'm seeing, is that people are so emotionally invested on both sides of the argument, right? Both spectrums of the
myself included,
politics, right? So I'm, like, coming from, like, an outside perspective, giving my trying to give my unbiased opinion and just documenting what I'm seeing, and I'm able to step back and think, maybe what is going on is just to try and incite something. Or
cool shit. It's a great way. It's a great way to do it. Hey, we're gonna put up, barbed wire, and you're not allowed in. Well, nana nana boo boo, stick your head in doo doo. We got the guns. You do not. So
yes,
it's it's a scary situation to me. And my biggest fear. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, and then having, like, the National Guard there and stuff is also adding fuel to the fire. As if, like,
September
if the national, if oh really? Oh
Yep.
wow, I didn't know that. I thought I heard DC police asked for like a 60-day extension, but if that's going to be the case all the way through September, that is it's pretty wild.
That's pretty. What the fuck's going on?
Right, right,
But fuel
man.
to the fire.
Yeah, no, it definitely is because you look at some of the comments that I get. Like the one video I had where I'm literally just scrolling from the floor up to like the razor wire, just because I
Yeah,
thought,
I'll see
and
that
I made
bug.
a stupid comment like, I made a comment about like, oh, doesn't it look pretty in the sun?
Oh yeah.
Obviously, just yeah,
Yeah.
just joking. And then someone was like, you're literally you're feeding the fire or something of like MAGA Trump crazies or whatever. I was like, oh my god, I
You're
can't even deal with this.
and it's so difficult to talk to anybody on either side of this. It's like two spoiled brats yelling at each
Mm-hmm.
other, and you're like,
Right.
he hit me, no, he hit me, and it's like, hey, I'm about to hit both you motherfuckers if y'all just don't get along.
Yeah, just chill the fuck out. I'm trying to just like create content here.
I'm in the
You know
middle
what
of
I
a
mean?
pandemic. I'm
I'm
from another
literally,
country. I really love it here, and you guys are fucking it up.
yeah, you are big time.
Well, what's your if you were to become king of America, that is kind of y'all's thing over there in England. I'm
Mm-hmm.
kidding, not necessarily in Wales, I guess, from what I've read. But
Yeah,
what's your
we did have a Welsh king at one point.
I saw that the first Welsh king I think was
Yep.
in 1400. Um,
Mr. Owain Glyndwr, I believe.
man, you can pronounce it.
Could be
I
wrong.
can't, so I'll leave that to you. If you were the king of America, what is something you would do to stop the division? Like as an outsider, what do you
Oof.
see would be?
Oof.
Obviously, this is very complicated, but just like one thing that you would do, out of 100.
Oh, man. Jesus Christ. Where do I begin?
Is that bad, huh?
Uh,
Hey guys, this isn't
uh,
looking good.
no, to be fair, I don't. I mean, I read something funny about how now that Harry and this is sidetrack. Now that Harry and Meghan are over here, if they have a son, which they do, and he becomes president, then it's like coming full circle.
Oh, bro, I've heard it.
The royals,
Done heard it.
the royals take over again.
It's all ploy.
Yeah, no, it is. Geez, the one thing that I would do if I was in America, I'd make everybody study like full on history from like Roman times
I would agree with
because I
that.
feel like there's so much that we can learn
It's interesting
from.
too. It's really like captivating seeing these people's
Mhm.
stories to me personally.
Yeah, no, 100%. And like I just think people need to be a bit more educated, and maybe not be emotionally like personally to me. If I could see in the UK, we have like 5 or 6 political parties.
All right.
So in the US, where there's just two, obviously there's going to be 50-50 division, right? Yeah, there's no like,
You say that there shouldn't be, but go ahead.
yeah, you're right. There shouldn't be. There shouldn't be. They should be very closely linked in
And then a
terms
few
of the
things should be
policy.
sideways. Like 80% of
Right.
everybody should agree on
Yeah.
80% of stuff, and then 20% of people
Absolutely.
then debate that stuff. This isn't the fucking
Yeah.
NFL
Absolutely.
championship here, guys. Like we got to live
Yeah.
next to each other.
Yeah. Exactly. So I think definitely um, brushing up on history and maybe a crash course on critical thinking.
Oh well, you done fucked up there. That's not gonna happen. I'm
No,
not sure if
no,
you've
it's
seen
not
this,
because
but not many people in America who are teaching know how to even critical think themselves, let alone teach it.
yeah, I agree. I mean, it's definitely not looking good for the young ones these days.
It was wild to me. I was really blessed with the teachers I had in my life. I grew up in the middle of
Mhm.
nowhere in Oklahoma, which I don't even know if you know where that's at on a map, but it's really in
Actually,
the
yeah,
middle
I
of
do.
nowhere.
I have a bunch of the guys who I play for on my team, like go to Oklahoma because I think they have a naval base there. Maybe.
It's an Air Force base, Tinker Air Force Base.
Yes, there you go. There you go.
Okay, cool. So you're familiar with it. I
Mhm.
grew up in a rural community, 13, 14 people in my class from kindergarten to eighth
Holy
grade.
shit!
Same people,
Wow,
right?
that's
Like
small.
and by 8th grade, everyone had dated everybody. Everyone hated each other. You know,
Are we talking Alabama here, or are we talking Oklahoma?
it wasn't. We weren't going to school with our cousins. They're second cousins,
Okay.
so it didn't really count. We
I'm just kidding. If you're from Alabama and you're listening, I do apologize.
no, they're weird. They do that there. Arkansas too. We were blessed with awesome teachers. One, I guess two specifically, was Mr. and Mrs. Verhines. And Mr. Verhines was a crazy, awesome, but crazy dude. And the fact of his teaching ways were not traditional by any means. He would have, for instance, me. So I guess hopefully this doesn't get him in trouble. He's retired, so love you, Mr. V. But there's this new girl in school in 7th grade, and so this is like, I guess it's about to be St. Patty's Day. The gold's here, right? And all the guys are like, oh man, there's 3 other people I have to compete with for this new girl to get her attention. I'm the huge nerd. I can't tell, maybe you can't tell that about me.
No, not quite yet.
Yeah, well, let me show you my awesome nerd. But the athlete also had a crush on her, and so what Mr. V did was he put her in between me and Cliff, and he asked us science questions, and he was asking me like, how many, or what's the symbol for cobalt, and what's the symbol for neon, what's the atomic number for yada yada. And he's asking Cliff what color the sky is, and I'm like, hey man, this ain't cool. But she had to walk back and forth to see. Whoever got the answer right, she would take a step closer to them. And then the more answers you got right, the more, closer she got to you. And then you're like, I'm going to get this next one wrong. She's like super close. I'm so nervous. I don't even want to talk to her right now. And so he was really, really good at breaking us outside of our
comfort zone.
Yeah, our comfort zone, and making us not only, smarter book-wise, but also know how, life works, and life is funny, and you have to take things, day by day, and take an interest in other people. His one of his close friends was black, and I'm not sure if I can still say that. But he was telling us, yeah, I know. He was telling us in 8th grade, he was at a bar with his friend. And he said, you never really understood how it is being me around all your white friends. I want you to come hang out with me and my friends next weekend. And he does. And Mr. V said it felt really strange being the only white guy in this huge bar. And he's telling a lot of white kids this in rural America. And that's something that stuck with me. Like, I bet that is kind of weird. I never even thought about that. Not that he was asking us to go, do anything about it, but he's giving us those critical thinking skills. So I just want to brag on him and say I wish more teachers were like that, not so much by the book, but by the product.
Right, because in life if you can be critical and you can think logically, you can dissect situations that previously you may not have been able to,
or even not even thought about, I guess.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Just like we talked about earlier, the Congress is probably setting all this on fire on purpose, and we just started our own conspiracy, the Welsh conspiracy.
You just never know. You never know with what's going on.
All right. Well, can I get you for another 30 minutes? I have 15 minutes of questions from other people. Okay. Cool. Appreciate this. And also, anyone who wants to hire this gentleman's fine voice to read any books, such as 50 Shades of Grey or Harry Potter, he is for hire.
Yes, sir. Harry Potter.
I didn't know that first one was going to come. That was hilarious when you told me that. All right, so from my notes on watching that 15-minute YouTube video on Wales.
Yes, sir.
So Celtic and Gaelic.
Yes.
Those are the that tradition was kept pretty much because of Wales, but Scotland and Ireland also have those traditions, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so it's my understanding that Scotland and Ireland were obviously at war a whole lot more than Wales were, because y'all's longbows. Apparently, y'all kicked ass with your longbows. I'm not sure if you knew that.
Yeah. Welsh longbowman. Yeah, 100%. We were actually.
What is it?
We were actually high. Welsh longbowman.
That sounds badass.
yeah. Basically, they were, I, if I remember correct, they were hired initially by England during the French 100-year war, the 100-year like war of France or whatever. But yeah, we definitely helped England in that one.
And then the Normans turned on you guys, and you're like, no, 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 no. We have our
Longbowmen.
lumbermen. Okay. Well, anyway, that was a big point in this guy said in the YouTube video. I thought it was hilarious. I was like, okay, like Robin Hood shit. I can dig that.
Yes.
I like Wales already.
Yeah.
You guys have a
Yes,
dragon on your flag? Do you have a picture or
yes,
anything
we
of that?
do. I mean, this is I've got a beer glass here, and it's
Okay.
basically it's the same dragon, but on the flag it's so this is called the Red Dragon Brewery. Little plug from back home there. Nothing to do with me.
10% off with the discount code, the Welshman in America.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, it's just pretty. It's a goddamn beautiful, majestic flag.
Something awesome.
It's the best flag in the world, in my opinion.
I thought lions were cool.
No.
And I saw the dragon. I was like, man, dragons stomp lions. That's so cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So the history behind the flag is that so the Welsh dragon is called Idrai Goch. I don't want to try and I'm not going to try and spell that for you because that would be here all day.
Okay.
And basically, it was first utilized, if I'm not mistaken, by the Romans.
Okay.
Long time ago, and then obviously I think throughout the ages the Welsh adopted it, and initially it was just the actual dragon itself on like a flag, and then it transferred, the green grass of home, and then the white sky.
Yeah, I saw that the name Welsh comes from the Germanic word Vala, yeah, for foreigner, which means foreigner in German. And then
because we were technically, throughout the ages, I think England's been invaded a whole bunch, and then you have Ireland and Scotland who were invaded by the Vikings. But Wales were technically never truly taken over,
which I think caused a little bit of animosity during the Elizabethan era, the Victoria age. Everyone was like really pissed off at you and snooty and be like, you guys can't speak your language anymore because, well, we don't know why, but because we said so. And
yeah, pretty much.
I thought that was very, very interesting how I think it's 1967 where it was finally allowed by Parliament that you guys could have like signs that had your own native language and English. Like, how did you guys not just stomp them? I mean, even with the longbows, I'm pretty sure you could take England out. They needed our help in World War I and II. Shit.
Yeah, we're a nation of like 3 million people now, so not like huge at all.
All right.
So I don't think we would have done any good in the if we had to defend ourselves these days.
You have a dragon, dude. Don't doubt yourself.
Yeah, no, we do. It's pretty badass.
Yeah, I thought that was also interesting how, as kind of a minority in England, is that how you felt in English culture as a Welshman?
I mean, in today's age, you kind of, if you're Welsh and you're living in England, for example, there's definitely the back and forth banter.
Oh, like fun, like, hey man, like I'm from the South, you're from the North, your food sucks, you date your cousin.
Yeah, there's not really any tension anymore. The only time there is tension, to be fair, these days is when we play England in rugby. That is huge. That is huge.
So you're not a football fan? Soccer, football?
No. I prefer contact, like physical altercations.
I read a tweet the other day that somebody said we should start condoning physical altercations. It'd solve a lot of today's problems. I was like, man.
Oh my days.
It would.
Oh my days. Good luck with that.
Yeah, no one wants to get in a fight over things they don't even know what they're talking about.
Right.
But back to your history, I also saw something about King Arthur.
Yes, sir.
That's kind of where that came from. I thought it was just an English dude. I didn't know it was from Wales
Um,
and that story developed there.
so King, a little fun fact, little sidetrack. I was actually a Pendragon Knight in the most recent King Arthur movie.
What?
Yeah, as an extra, not like
That's
as a
awesome.
like a full on. Yeah, no, it's pretty badass. I got to travel up to North
Yeah.
Wales, and we did like 3 days of filming. And initially, so like when I first applied for that, I'll get back to to the King Arthur
No,
in a second.
this is
But
better. Yeah, cool.
yeah, when I first applied for it, I was like, I was a qualified archery instructor at the time from my time at the summer camp.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, cool. I'd love to be a Welsh archer in this. But then when I got there, I was too big to fit in like the archer costumes because back in the day, archers were very small.
Oh, right. Yeah, the bigger
Um,
guys are on the front lines.
uh-huh. Yeah, so like they were like, oh, you can be a Pendragon Knight. I was like, happy days. Best
Oh,
like 3 days filming. It was so good.
oh
So
man,
good.
I have nothing like that.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Well, and then going back to King Arthur, so there's kind of like a debate because they say King Arthur was a Roman knight
I've heard. Yeah.
or Rome or something, and then there's also tales of him being from Cornwall,
Hmm.
not necessarily Wales. So there's usually a bit of back and forth between Cornwall and Wales on the true nature of where he came from. But they say Camelot was in North Wales, so I'm just going to roll with that.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, you can make believe whatever you want to. You can even write down your own history and say, "Look, I found it on
Yeah,
Wikipedia, so I'm right."
absolutely. I'm going to edit Wikipedia right now.
Bro, did you know how crazy people are that edit Wikipedia? Like, there's people who do that full time, and
Oof, my days.
apparently it's a big business. I didn't know that.
Oh,
Don't.
I have no doubt in my mind that it's a big business because if you have access to like to edit something that is like long standing,
Whatever you
people are going
do,
to pay big money for
don't go into Trump's Wikipedia page and look at his edit history. Your mind will be blown. It'll you'll collapse instantly. Especially if you've had the vaccine.
that.
Speaking
Not
of
yet,
that,
not
are you going to get the vaccine?
yet. Ugh, okay, so slight
Anytime
disclaimer: I
soon.
actually had I had COVID in December.
Okay.
For I mean, I was asymptomatic to be fair, like no symptoms apart from the only thing I had was a brief headache. And I had trained pretty much every day for like the previous 2 weeks, and it was very peculiar. Like literally, I filmed myself getting the results, and I was like, "What the fuck? Are you serious? Like how I'm like one of the most healthiest individuals I know. How the heck can I get it?" But there you are. And then, so will I get the vaccine? If it's made mandatory to travel to the UK, yes.
Oh, I don't like hearing you say that. Not that
Right.
you, nothing
Well,
about
that's the
you,
thing.
but
Because, no,
here, no.
that's the thing
Here's the
is that
thing. Here, Mr. Welshman, I'm going to tell you how America does it.
yes.
America's going to say you
Okay.
can go take that vaccine and shove it up your airplane. We're going to make our own airplanes, and we'll fly all the way to the ocean right above England, and then we'll have a fucking ferry, parachute people out because that's the American way. Can't tell me what to put in my body, and I'm not going to try to put my body
Nice.
inside of you. Like I feel like it's a two-way thing.
I mean, you can if you want. No, I'm just
Well,
kidding. I'm just kidding.
I don't know your girlfriend that well. And I'm pretty sure she'd probably beat my ass if. So if you play rugby, I'm sure she's probably pretty
No,
intense too.
no, she's only little. She's only little.
That's awesome. Well, what does she do
Yeah,
up there
no.
in DC?
So basically, she works for the family business, I
Okay.
suppose, the construction business, and she was a tax accountant prior to. Um, but then when I moved over here, it just kind of made sense for her to stay closer to home.
Right. Well, what's it feel like
Um,
being part of an American business, like especially something that's
mm,
family um, targeted?
it's interesting. I'd say it's interesting purely because I've worked with my dad before and I've worked with my brother,
Mm-hmm.
and that didn't go so well. And
Heard.
I only say that because my brother was in charge of me. So like he's older than me, and he's older than me, and he would always make me do the stupidest shit
Oh
that I
yeah.
hated. And then obviously,
Let me
my
guess. You
dad
didn't do it
telling
right.
no, not the first time, not the first
All right.
time.
Yeah.
And then obviously my dad's telling my brother what to do. So it's just like a fucking vicious circle.
And you're never going to be able to tell your dad what to do. You can go ahead and
No, exactly.
bank
I
on
mean,
that.
now I can. Now I
But,
can. But
oh, you're also an ocean away.
not back then. Yeah, not back then. So it's kind of, it was, I had that mindset going into it, what it would be like.
Okay.
But luckily, I'm not very. I don't interact with my wife, for example, or many of her relatives firsthand.
Right.
Which is kind of nice, and I think that definitely makes life easier for me.
That's a really smart business move. Also, if you're going to go home with your family when you're at work, you should probably try to separate yourselves some kind of distance. That's
for sure.
I'm glad you tied that in. Another thing I try to do on this podcast is entrepreneurial and small business tips. So as far as family businesses go, I think that's a great tip from an outsider. So thanks.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, especially because, being the only person in my family, my actual family from back home here, it's kind of like, I don't want to have to I don't have to come home, speak about work, speak about business. I just want to chill out and keep them separate.
Yeah. Leave it at the door, so to say, right?
Yeah, exactly. 100%. 100%.
Cool. Well, let me get you for another 5 minutes. And
yes, sir.
I'm sure that there's tons of people texting me right now. My phone's blowing up, asking questions. So we may have to have you back on again. Maybe do a live stream
I'm
on TikTok. Okay. Well, you also have to practice your voice for your 50 Shades of Grey. Not to me.
Yes,
but oh my
God.
All right. Here we go. All right. I'm totally straight, super straight. No.
Yeah.
What's the biggest thing you hope to accomplish during your time in America, however short or long it may be? If you get hit by a bus tomorrow, kind of thing. Like, what do you came to America? What do you hope to accomplish from a citizen standpoint?
Okay, so fun. Like, to me, I've always wanted to be have like a legacy, I think, and because of. So my surname is Davis. It's Davies. It's the British way of saying it.
Okay.
So in America, you would say Davies, right? Right. I think I want to get to the point where I no longer have to spell out my name and say it's the British way of saying it.
People know it.
I think. Yeah, I just want people to know that it's
that's Davies. That's Davies.
Yes,
is what you mean.
Yes. Yeah. And I think having because like I hate having to, like, sometimes my wife will be like, she'll just say Davies just to like make it easier for other people. Whereas like I'm like it's Davies, the British way.
Davies.
And
pronounce it again.
I think Davies.
No, pronounce it though. Is it Davis or Davies?
Davis.
Okay,
so
yeah.
in America,
I already fucked it up.
Davies.
Okay.
But I think that's what the biggest thing I'd like to accomplish, and then along with that, just cementing like my roots here. In terms of, obviously, I'm probably the only Welsh person from my family ever to come over. Maybe, I don't know.
Ancestry.com. You never know. I wouldn't do it, but you can find out.
Well, that's how I found out that I was closely tied to William the Conqueror on my mother's side.
What?
Yeah. I'm like, so here's a fun fact for you. There's like 5 million British people who are directly linked to William the Conqueror. So I could be anywhere from 1,000 in line to like 5 million in line, right? So I would have to kill about 5 million. Not going to obviously do it, but you know what I mean? I'd have to take out that many people and I would be king.
Well, there's a way to do that. Vaccines are a great way to start. Just kidding. Yeah. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Another rabbit hole.
Yeah, another rabbit hole. I'm never going to get the vaccine. I say never. I'm not going to get the vaccine anytime soon. I actually did something pretty crazy today. I walked around Lowe's without a mask on after I saw this other couple not wearing a mask. And I said, "Excuse me, sir, ma'am, did no one stop you yet?" And they're like, "No, we just walked right in." And I was like, "America." Nice. Took it off. So let's go.
Team America.
Team America. Yeah. And I guess my last tidbit on that, this time last year, I was the only one in Lowe's wearing a mask because I saw how quickly the virus was spreading in Italy and things like that. Did my own research, didn't watch Fox News or CNN. And I was like, hey guys, I think this is going to be pretty bad. So I'm wearing a mask. So for 2 years in a row, I'm the asshole at Lowe's, not following what everyone else is doing. So welcome to America. You're making friends with the Rebel. I'm glad to have you on the team.
No, I'm part of the Rebel Alliance, so I think it's pretty good.
All right, I'll be your Skywalker.
Yes.
All right, brother. Take care.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.